Miss Cox's form class. Now welcome to episode 2. I also have to say good afternoon to probably the entire Duchess High School 6th form who have seen the original video. To those of you who think I was maybe taking it a bit seriously, then that's fine. I don't mind having a laugh at myself. So the point is for you guys to learn some new skills that you can take away to university or take away to your life. So yes, have some fun, enjoy the videos, laugh at me, I don't mind. That's all part of the plan in order for you guys to take something away with you anyways from these videos. So I've had a lot of requests this week from students who want different things or have asked for different things. One of the things that cropped up the most was how to use a washing machine. Now for those of you that have asked me, every washing machine is usually slightly different, but I will show you how to use my washing machine and some of the things you can use in terms of powder or tablets or liquids and how to organise your washing before you actually get it into that machine. So if you stick with me for a minute, I'll go through and I'll show you how to organise our clothing before we get it into the machine. In front of me I have a pile of washing. Now I've made sure to remove any delicates, if you know what I mean, because I'm sure you don't want to see any of my pants on your screen this afternoon. So in front of me I have most of my sports clothes. I've had a tennis match this morning, so I've got my kit in there. So I'm going to separate this out before we actually get into the machine. So you can probably see there's a range of different colours. We need to organise that so that we're not mixing the colours when we come to do our washing. So the first thing I'm going to do is separate my darks with my lights and also my whites. So I'm going to take anything that's quite dark. Okay, that colour is probably not going to fade, so I'm going to take that. They're quite light, so I'm going to move them over to that pile. Light. We've got a hoodie which is light. We've got a dark top there. Some jeans. Some tracksuit bottoms. Another hoodie. I've got a white top which I want to keep totally separate. One of my famous skins that I'm always wearing even when it's the middle of the summer. That's a light. I've got some darks. Light, light, dark, 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 and an odd sock that I'm not going to do anything with. So I've separated my pile out here. It's really important that we separate our whites. So these, if I was to wash with my darks, would very, very quickly start to turn grey. So we don't want to have those turning grey because obviously you want to keep your white as you can. So I'm going to keep that entirely separate and I do a white wash. So I have some white duvet covers. I usually put my total whites into my to white wash with my duvet covers and my towels and things like that. So I'm going to keep that to the side. So what I'm going to do today is probably the dark load. So if you want to follow me, I'll take you to the washing machine and we'll show you what to do next. Got my load, I've opened up my washing machine ready. I'm going to just plug it in. If you just want to come a little bit closer just for a second. So, come right in. So, rule of thumb is the washing machine drum can be as full as long as you have a hand between the top of the drum and the clothing. So if my clothing was piled up this high, then that is okay. It's still empty enough for you to put the washing machine on. But if it's too full and you can't fit your hand in there, so upright, then you need to take some clothing out, okay? If you have too full of a drum, then you're going to end up with some smelly clothes because they're not going to wash properly. They're going to get a bit damp as well. So this is actually quite an empty wash, but I want to just get it done before the week. Otherwise I'll run out of clothes and it all starts to pile up. So I'm going to just get it done today anyway. So you can see in front of me I've got two liquids here. One of them is a fabric softener, which obviously makes your clothes nice and soft, so you don't get that cardboardy feeling. And one of them is your washing liquid. Okay, so there's lots of different forms of things you can get for this. Currently at the minute I'm using liquid. If I'm honest, I don't like it. I much prefer a powder, but you can also get the little tablets as well, which look like little gel pouches. So at the minute I'm using liquid, but after this one I'll probably switch back to powder. It's more cost effective as well. You get more washes out of each pack. So if you come a little bit closer, I'll show you the drawer of the washing machine. So most washing machines will have 3 drawers. You have one drawer which is for extra stain removers, so if you've got varnish or something like that, if you've got some really heavy stains, then you can use this drawer and put some extra powder in there or liquids. You have one which is for your fabric softener, which usually is always a lot smaller than the rest of them, and then the biggest drawer or the biggest space is always going to be your washing powder. Okay, you don't put the gel or the liquids in the drawer, they usually go into the drum. The washing powders go in there. So if you're not using washing powder, we're not going to use it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to measure out my fabric softener. So usually each fabric softener will have a cap that will show you how much you need to put in. So I'm just going to pour that into the cap until it's full. Okay, and then from that cap I'm going to pour it into the middle section where I said we're going to put the fabric softener. Okay, it will disappear because it will just go into the back. We're also going to use our fabric washer, so I'm going to shut the drawer because this goes directly into the drum with the clothes, so I'm going to use that today. Now for this one you have also a cap as well that comes off, so you have this pouring spout, which is this bit, and then you have the cap, which is what you actually put into the washing machine with the liquid. So I'll tighten that back on. So you don't actually need very much, very small amount. You're just going to pour that into the cap until it's full, and then that one goes straight into the drum. So if you just put it in on top of your clothing and just rest it in the drum. Okay, so here in front of you can see my specific washing machine. Everything that we've done so far is generic to every washing machine, but this bit is going to be really specific to the individual washing machine. But most of the ones are very similar in terms of the options that they give you. So around somewhere in your washing machine you'll usually have a range of different options. Now if I'm honest, I will just always use the daily wash. It's probably the most environmentally friendly. It doesn't require necessarily a high temperature, and most washing detergents and stuff like that these days don't need to be on a high temperature anymore, so we'll use this daily wash. If you've got things like wool that you want to make sure doesn't shrink, then you might use the specific function for that, but unless it is something that specifies on the label to use a specific function, then usually a daily wash is going to be okay. So mine's already automatically comes on whatever my last one was. So you can see here my daily wash is an hour and 3 minutes long. If you come a little bit closer, I then have different options on here. So I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. So we have temperature, which I can change. Okay, on this daily wash I can only have a 20, a 30, a 40 or a 60. I can't go up to 95. To use 95 we'd probably be looking at things like whites, things that you really need a high temperature to get really clean. But again, I don't really put my whites on really high temperatures unless they've got loads of stains on, which they don't ever tend to have. In fact, they never do. I've never used a 95 wash before. So I usually like mine on a 60, but like I say, they don't have to be. A 30 or a 40 is usually enough. I then have a spin option, so this is how fast the drum will spin at the end of the cycle, so I can take the spin off, I can spin it a bit slower and so on, but I always just put it on the highest spin as well because it's going to get the driest outcome when you take them out. I then have some other options here which will give me different things, so for example this one is for a stain remover, and if I'm honest I haven't got a clue what the rest are for. So we'll just leave them and keep it on that one. Okay, and then you can delay, for example, when it ends. So if I want to have it on for 3 hours, I can put it on for 3 hours, but I don't know why you would. And now I don't know how to get it off. Cut. Okay, I didn't have a clue how to get the delay end off, so what I've done is just turned the machine off and put it back on again, because that's what solves most of your technological problems if you just turn it off not. So here we are. I've got my 60 degree. I'm going to spin it on 14,000, not 14,000, 1400, and then I'm ready to go. So all I'm going to do is press play. So my washing machine is going. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you haven't enjoyed it, hopefully you've learned something from it. Harry Felton and Joy Augustin, I know you wanted to shout out this week, so this one is for you. Hopefully your mums will be happy because you can go home and do some washing. I speak to them often enough, so I'll just give them a ring and tell them that you know exactly what you're doing now anyways. So to everyone else as well, now you know how to use a washing machine, have a go, maybe help some parents out, help grandparents out, aunties, uncles, whoever. Okay, get a load in and let's get going. See you later, see you next week. This is form class, no start again. So, in here in front of me I have a pile of washing. Now I'll do it again. Okay, so in front of me here I've got some washing liquid and I've got some fabric softeners. So fabric softeners will always be in liquid form, so usually look in a bottle just like this. I like Comfort, usually smells quite nice. But obviously there's many brands available for you to use it. So, what we're going to do, if you have a little look in the drawer here, sorry, so come a little bit closer. So you usually have 3 compartments here in your drawer. You have one which is for sort of stain removers, one which is for your washing up liquid, and one which is for your power. Sorry, not washing up liquid, we're not getting the fairy out, we're getting the Comfort. We have to get